So what we're presenting here is a collaboration work with an artist friend, Walid Raad, and myself. It was in fact a submission for an architectural competition for a Museum of Modern Art and Contemporary Art in Beirut. And we thought that at this point in time, it would be dangerously naive to propose a museum in the conventional sense of the term. And we thought that we would develop a project that would be more of a product of the state of things. So this work is called Stage Zero, a preface. Before we were ready to build a museum, a conventional museum, we tried to establish a network through which we would connect the site with collections that exist, private collectors, 12, 15 private collectors, collections of art that are not, that do not pretend to build a coherent history. They're private collections, but this, as many other ways, or many other things in Beirut, this is how we build meaning. In the absence of an institution that could regroup a coherent consensual history, we think that there are many histories happening at the same time. So we spared the museum buying a collection and even taking the responsibility or the accountability of regrouping a consensual collection. Instead, we base our museum on existing collections. And then we dig a hole. And in this hole, we imagine caves in which collections could be exhibited, these private collections could be exhibited. Now, on a very pragmatic angle, I would say that this museum could represent probably under 5% of the cost of construction of the planned building. It could be built or it could be dug in a very little amount of time, probably 8 to 9 months. So this museum would have existed, in fact. You could travel in the hole through scaffoldings, mechanical construction elevators, and so on and so forth. So you would spare basically the cost. This is the pragmatic architect speaking. You would spare the cost of acquiring a collection. You would spare the responsibility, the unbearable responsibility of taking a position and collecting and pretending to write history, but also you'd spare the cost of erecting a building and the time and effort to erecting a rhetorical monument or a building or a museum, as we think that Beirut is not ready for it. It's a very difficult question to answer. If I knew what Beirut, if I could define to Beirut in a few words in about 2 minutes, I wouldn't be in Beirut and I certainly would not be here. So maybe what I like about the city is the fact that it is extremely difficult to define in simple words. It is incredibly complex, and it keeps you awake and it keeps you alive. It doesn't let you go to sleep.